Hello, welcome back, Steve's Retirement Corner. Two more things I would have done different. I think these two are a lot more important than the first two I went over. They have more to do with how I envisioned my retirement than when I actually chose to retire. That's all I was looking for out of retirement, be honest with you, man, was I wanted to live just as well in retirement as we ever did in daggone while I was working. You know, that was my so-called dream retirement. I wanted to live every day and enjoy life just like we always had. And all I had to do was roll out of bed. You know, I mean, to me, that was a dream. That's what I wanted. So I had the opportunity to do things different. I just chose not to, and it was because it really didn't affect our lifestyle in retirement any. And but you know, since I've retired, I have started making little changes in these areas because it actually makes things a little bit more easier and simple in retirement. And that's really what all I want retirement to be. It's like this first thing, streamlining my finances and trimming the fat from our budget. You know, streamlining my finances would be going from multiple accounts at multiple banks down to just one or two accounts at one or two banks. You know, that worked great for us when I was working because it kind of put an extra hurdle between me and my savings account. You know, instead of going all the way across town to pull some money out of the savings account for an emergency, it made me question whether it was actually an emergency or whether there was another way I could work around it, you know. It served its purpose and worked well. In retirement, it's just become a little bit more of a hassle. And, you know, by consolidating like that, it's made things a little bit simpler and easier for us. It's the same for automation. Every time we've ever automated payments in the past, it's always bit us in the butt. Every time. And last year was no exception. I mean, we got a big chunk took out of us last year. It was a hassle. But it really wasn't much to it. It was just a hassle. And it happens every time we do it. So we do, you know, one or two things here and there and give it a few months to get relaxed and used to it. And then we'll do some more. It just makes things a little bit more easier and simpler in retirement. You know, as far as trimming the fat, man, everybody's got some kind of fat they can trim for their budget. Whether it's just getting a little bit lower rate on your auto insurance or your cell phone plan, or maybe you got a old subscription to some kind of service that you no longer need, or a gym membership that you no longer use, you know. But I'd built my retirement around not having to change anything. Those things were all taken into consideration. And it didn't need to be done, so I didn't do it. You know, I didn't want my retirement to depend on me having to cut anything out or cut back anywhere. Same as I didn't want it to depend on returns to the market, you know. So, I mean, you know, but, you know, I think it'd be a good idea to take a look at them things before you retire. You know, not only do they make things simpler and easier, but you might save you a few bucks. And as far as not being so concerned over financial aspects of retirement, man, I hear all the same horror stories about retirement everybody else does all my life. You know, Social Security ain't gonna be there. The saving rate is abysmal. Nobody's gonna be able to afford to retire anymore. Junk like that, you know. And I fell for it all, hook, line, and sinker, and it scared the heck out of me. That's why I always say that I saved out of fear. I didn't actually save for retirement. I saved out of fear because I had a daggone mortgage in the family that, you know, it didn't matter whether I was employed or not. You know, they needed attention, and that's what I was scared of. It was only later that I actually considered that part of my retirement savings, you know, and it was much later. Most time I was just scared to death. But and at the same time, man, because it was years before I realized what I'd actually been doing was saving and planning for somebody else's retirement. You know, what somebody else's ideas of how retirement should be. And it wasn't my idea of what retirement should be. So, I mean, you know, I mean, it's water under the bridge now. Ain't much I can do about it. But I mean, it could have saved me from having to work all them doubles and holidays and working 2 or 3 jobs, and could have lowered my stress level while I was at work. I might not would have wanted to retire when I did. There's no way of knowing all that, but I mean, it could have affected me that way. And then not only that, but it actually turned into a benefit, by doing what I had to save, like everybody was saying you had to save for the retirement everybody says you're supposed to have, that wasn't mine to begin with. Was actually made it possible for me to retire a few years earlier than I thought. So I mean, in the end, it worked out for us. Man, I actually fell into all this mess, man. It wasn't no grand plan I ever had. But anyways, I think those two are a lot more important than them first two, because I really think it's important to have an idea what your retirement is going before you start even planning. It's hard to build a daggone roadmap to somewhere you don't even know where you're going to, But anyways, this is Memorial Day weekend. If you guys get a chance, take a minute or two this weekend and just kind of remember the men and women, different races, religions, backgrounds, and everything that really, I don't know, paid the ultimate sacrifice for this great country. I mean, that's what Memorial Day weekend is about. So, but anyways, man, y'all enjoy your cookout if you get a chance to do it. Be careful firing up the grill. And y'all take care, and we'll talk with y'all later.